Millionaire's daughter, never walked until her babysitter's incredible secret was revealed. In the affluent suburbs where houses gleamed brighter than stars, Emily Carter sat in her wheelchair, a golden cage wrapped in marble and glass. The world danced outside her window, kids cycled, couples strolled, and life pulsated with possibilities that she could only dream about, with her long chestnut hair cascading like a waterfall and bright blue eyes searching for a glimpse of freedom. Each night, the echoes of laughter from block parties wrapped around her like an uninvited guest, reminding her of her isolation. At 17, Emily had never taken a step. The burden of her family's wealth felt like chains, heavy and unyielding. She was the millionaire's daughter, yet she was trapped, gazing out as society moved forward without her. Then came Sarah, the new babysitter, a whirlwind of energy and determination that swept Emily off her perfectly manicured lawn. "Hey, you want to watch a movie?" Sarah asked one afternoon, plopping down on the floor beside Emily, a messy bun defying the order of the household. There was something refreshing about her casual approach, the way she didn't seem intimidated by the grandiosity around them. Emily smiled, recognizing the bond forming, a lifeline reaching out from the depths of her loneliness. Over baking cookies that transformed into flower explosions and laughter-filled movie nights, Emily found herself opening up. She shared her secret dreams, feeling an unfamiliar flicker of hope. For the first time, she could voice not just her frustrations but also her desire to soar beyond the confines of her rich, yet suffocating, existence. On a rainy afternoon, the pitter-patter of raindrops became a symphony of emotions. Emily felt an ache in her chest, shame washing over her like the storm outside. As the clouds cried, she let her fears spill out. "I can't help but feel unworthy, like happiness doesn't belong to me because I can't walk." Sarah, sensing the turmoil, shared her own story, one filled with struggle and perseverance. Each word was a brick, building the foundation of hope in Emily's heart. She spoke of obstacles, of fighting for a dream that seemed ridiculously distant. Emily's eyes glistened with understanding. She felt a shift, a bond tied together by resilience against fate. Just before taking a deep breath, Sarah hesitated, then with a quiet intensity revealed her secret technique. "It's something I've kept hidden. It helped me turn physical challenges into triumphs." Emily's heart raced. A touch of magic began to weave itself in her mind. What if she could learn? What if walking could be possible? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Now the stakes soared higher, doubt crashing against hope like waves against a shore. Could Emily, wrapped in privilege, confront her fears? The thought of stepping outside the confines of luxury both terrified and excited her. The journey would be fraught with challenges, but the promise of reclaiming her life lingered in the air. As she glanced out at the rain-soaked world dancing just beyond her reach, she felt the possibility of something breathtaking, a choice waiting on the horizon. Would she dare to take that first step? The question hung heavy, a weathered anchor in her heart, whispering that the adventure was just beginning. Emily's heart felt like it was racing against time. The rain couldn't blend her thoughts, it was simply pushing her deeper into uncertainty. She turned her gaze from the window, the vibrant options of life outside almost mocking her as they splashed against the glass. "Tomorrow," she finally whispered, almost to herself. "I'm going to try that." Night, sleep eluded her. Every raindrop became a countdown to what lay ahead. As she lay awake, her thoughts tossed around her head like a basketball in a game. Would Sarah's secret work? Could she actually learn to walk? The very idea felt absurd and exhilarating at once. Morning came, its golden light piercing through the clouds, and Emily's vision of the day was crowded by a mixture of joy and terror. She rolled to the living room, anticipation buzzing within her. The comforting aroma of pancakes wafted in. Sarah was already there, her usual energy lighting up the room as she flipped a pancake with a flourish. "Today is the day, right?" Sarah grinned, pouring syrup as Emily settled at the table. "I think so, I want to," but the doubt slipped out before she could lock it away. "What if I'm not ready?" Readiness comes from taking that first step, literally and figuratively. Sarah's smile radiated encouragement. "We'll take it slow. Remember what I said, it's about progress, not perfection." Emily studied Sarah's face, the determination in her eyes a mirror reflecting what she desperately wanted to be. "I just don't want to fail. Failing is part of trying," Sarah replied, her voice steady and clear like the hopeful sunlight coming through the kitchen window. "You're so much stronger than you realize, Emily. Trust me." At that moment, a spark ignited within Emily. Excitement began to uncoil the doubt. They had gathered all they needed: the space, the tools, and a bond of trust. With her heart pounding in her chest, they made their way to the spacious family room. The soft carpet felt welcoming beneath her as she adjusted the wheelchair, taking in the makeshift space. It was like a small arena, one where dreams would face their greatest test. "Ready for your first lesson?" Sarah asked, kneeling beside Emily, bones popping and arms poised to support. Every nerve in Emily's body hummed, aware of the challenge she was about to embark upon. "For sure," Emily exhaled deeply. The sound resonated with a firm intent she hadn't felt before. They positioned themselves together. Sarah's hands were steady as she guided Emily's right leg. "Focus on your core. Feel your body as I lift it." The moment was surreal. Emily felt the weight of her leg for the first time in a way she hadn't considered before. The room grew quiet, tension mingling with hope. With a determined breath, Emily tried to connect her mind with her body. I can do this, she murmured, channeling every ounce of courage into those words. As Sarah gently encouraged her to shift weight from side to side, Emily leaned forward, the vibrations of the effort echoing in her bones. Each tiny movement felt monumental. Time stretched as seconds turned into a dance of wills, hers and Sarah's. But suddenly, a flicker of doubt crept back in. "What if I fall?" "Falling is part of the game," Sarah reassured her. "We stand back up." Then came the moment of truth. Sarah slowly pulled her forward, lifting Emily just a fraction off the chair. Emily squealed in fear and thrill, gripping tightly as her mind surged with disbelief. Her heart thundered in her chest as an electric pulse of adrenaline surged through her. Could this really be happening? As the realization hit, so did a rush of excitement and fear. Emily teetered, her body trembling, arms outstretched. The next move lingered in the air, suspended, just out of reach. Emily took a deep breath, feeling the gravity of the moment engulf her. Would she take that next step? Would she leap into freedom even at the risk of falling? The question hung in the air, a steep cliff before her, and just as she prepared herself to take that plunge, the doorbell rang, a loud interruption that jolted her back into reality. Who could that be? Sarah asked, shrugging as she went to answer. Emily felt her pulse quicken with curiosity and apprehension. The world outside still echoed possibilities, but an unexpected visitor might change everything. As Sarah opened the door, the weight of every choice hung heavy on Emily's heart. What if this person held the key to the next chapter of her life? Would this moment open new doors or lead her further into uncertainty? She had to know. As the door swung open, Emily's breath hitched. Standing there was a tall figure, drenched by the rain, wearing a slightly oversized jacket that hung loosely from his frame. Hair clung to the man's forehead, beads of water dripped down his cheek, but it was the look of shock on his face that seized Emily's attention. "Jake?" Sarah exclaimed, her tone half surprised, half joyful. "What are you doing here?" Emily strained her neck to catch a glimpse of him. Jake was the boy next door, someone she had seen a few times during neighborhood barbecues. He was always friendly, with an inviting smile, but today he looked more serious, almost urgent. "I need to talk to you," he said, stepping into the warm glow of the house as Sarah stepped aside hesitantly. His eyes quickly found Emily. "Hey, I hope I'm not interrupting." "No, not at all," Emily stammered as Sarah closed the door behind him. Confusion and curiosity hummed between them. Why was Jake here? The tension shifted back to her, overriding the moment she had just prepared for. "Emily, right?" he asked, his gaze steady. "I heard about your situation. I wanted to come see if there's anything I could do." She blinked. "What do you mean?" Jake took a deep breath, seemingly weighing his words. "There's a method, a technique I've been studying. It might help. I thought maybe I could show you." "What?" Sarah interjected, surprise etching her features. "You study that sort of thing?" "It's a long story," Jake replied, trying to brush off the skepticism flooding the room. "But trust me. I've seen it work. I thought you could use a little more help." Emily felt a surge of excitement mixed with trepidation. Here was someone new, someone unexpected. She felt a flicker of hope, but with it, the shadows of doubt returned. What if this was just another dead end? "I don't know if I'm ready for more," Emily finally said, her voice softening. "What if it doesn't work?" "Look," Jake took a step closer, the resolve in his voice solid. "I can't promise anything, but I can show you. You won't know unless you try. And I think you're closer than you believe." Emily's heart raced again. The way Jake spoke stirred something deep within her. He had a certain confidence, as if he truly believed she could do it. But was this just more talk? Her gut twisted in uncertainty. Just as before, Sarah sensed the shift. "Emily, this could be a completely different perspective. If you feel comfortable, it might be worth exploring." Emily glanced between the two of them. She could feel the walls closing in, the weight of her past failures pressing down hard. Yet, there was a thread of something, hope, maybe? That felt familiar yet elusive. "Okay," she said, the words escaping her lips before she could truly comprehend them. "Let's try it." Jake's face lit up, and Emily felt a mixture of relief and exhilaration flood her system. Was she truly willing to open herself up to this possibility? Did she dare take this plunge into the unknown, just as the first warmth of excitement surged through her, bringing the promise of something new? Doubt flickered again. Would this really be different, or was it just another dream waiting to shatter? As Jake began to explain the technique, discussing principles that sounded both strange and fascinating, Emily felt a rush coursing through her. Perhaps this time would lead her somewhere brighter, but as the lesson began, another sound rang through the airy room, a soft chime from Emily's phone. She glanced at the notification, an unknown number. Curiosity tugged at her heart, weaving a fresh veil of uncertainty into the moment. What if this was the news that pointed her toward a completely unexpected path? What if this is the moment everything changes? She thought, confident yet hesitant, as she reached for her phone. With her finger trembling over the screen, anticipation fluctuated wildly within her. Whatever lay in that message, it would surely lead her down a road she had never expected to travel. Would she be brave enough to find out? Emily's heart skipped a beat as she stared at the phone. The name associated with the number was unfamiliar, but it had an intriguing pull. The soft screen illuminated her face in the dim light, drawing Jake's gaze. "Who is it?" he asked, his tone curious but focused, distracting her from the quieter excitement building in her chest. "I don't know. It's an unknown number." She hesitated, weighing her options. A part of her wanted to ignore it, to focus on the moment unfolding with Jake, but another part couldn't help but feel the gravity of the message. "Maybe it's just spam," Sarah suggested, voice a blend of upbeat encouragement and protective caution. "You can always check it later." Emily clutched her phone tighter. The anxiety coupled with a sense of curiosity was electric. But what if it's something important? What if, it's an opportunity. Jake's expression softened, a knowing glimmer in his eyes. You should open it. Sometimes unexpected things in life can lead to greater paths. She felt the weight of his words settle deep inside. Taking a deep breath, she pressed her thumb to the screen. The message popped up, and her stomach twisted as her eyes darted through the text. Emily, congratulations. You've been selected for an exclusive opportunity that matches your unique skills. Please call this number as soon as possible to learn more about it. We believe you have what it takes. There was no signature, no further explanation, just a strange urgency wrapped in a glowing promise that sent warm shivers up her spine. A mix of disbelief and thrill coursed through her. What skills were they talking about? What did they see in her? Then fear crept back in, threading through her mind. What if it was a scam? What if she got her hopes up for nothing? I don't know, she stammered, her voice quivering. It could be anything. It could be everything, Jake interjected, stepping closer. But if it really resonates with you, it's worth exploring. He was right. Everything about this felt like a gentle push, encouraging her to step outside her comfort zone. I'll just call, she declared, her tone firmer. The excitement tangled with a bit of anxiety, pricking at her conscience. Right now. She dialed the number, heart racing. With each ring, she felt as if she was teetering on the edge of something huge, the world around her blurring into a backdrop of expectations and fears. Hello? A voice sounded crisp and businesslike on the other end. It pulled her in, and with every second that passed, she sensed the weight of her future hanging in the balance. I received a message about an opportunity. She managed to say, her voice steadier than she felt. She could hear a brief pause, almost as if the caller was considering her very worth. Yes. We've identified you as a potential candidate for a unique project centered around self-improvement and empowerment. Can you come in for a meeting? Emily's pulse quickened. This was exactly what she had been yearning for, a lifeline to grasp onto. When? Tomorrow at noon works. Does that sound good? She looked at Jake, who nodded encouragingly, a smile curving across his lips. Yes. I'll be there, she replied, a mix of eagerness and fear bubbling within. Great. We look forward to seeing you then. The call ended, leaving Emily breathless. What just happened? Sarah whispered, almost bewildered. I think I just got an opportunity, Emily breathed, adrenaline coursing through her. Yet, beneath the excitement, the shadows of doubt lurked, patiently waiting. Jake broke the silence with a laugh, infectious and warm. See? Taking a leap isn't so bad. But what if I mess it up? The question hung in the air, heavy and significant. He stepped closer, his voice a calm breeze. You won't know unless you try. Just remember, every moment is an opportunity to learn and grow. In that lingering moment, hope battled fear, and Emily felt caught between what she wanted and what she feared she could lose. This was her chance, but deep down, she knew that embracing it might require more than just courage. As she stood with uncertainty pooling inside her, the rest of the world faded away. Somewhere in her heart, a whisper echoed, what if this is just the beginning? Tomorrow would bring her face to face with an opportunity like no other. And as her mind raced through what that might mean for her life, one question loomed larger than the rest: would she truly be ready to embrace her potential? The next day, the sun peeked through the blinds, casting a golden hue over Emily's room. She woke up with a mix of excitement and dread swirling in her stomach, a reminder of the meeting ahead. What if it was everything she dreamed of? Or, what if it turned out to be nothing but an elaborate hoax? After a quick shower, she dressed in her favorite blazer, a deep navy that always made her feel confident. As she looked in the mirror, she tried to steady her racing heart. You've got this, she whispered to herself, forcing a smile. Jake was already waiting for her in the kitchen when she made her way downstairs. His encouraging grin was like a warm ray of sunshine chasing away her morning jitters. You look ready to conquer the world, he said, sliding a cup of coffee her way. Emily laughed softly, taking the warm mug in her hands. More like ready to face the unknown, she replied, taking a sip and letting the caffeine fuel her courage. The drive to the meeting felt eternal. The wheels rolled against the pavement, and with each passing block, her excitement collided with a rising storm of anxiety. As they approached the large glass building that towered above everything else, her heart began to race anew. Breathe, Em. Just be yourself, Jake reassured her as they parked. She took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts, trying to visualize the best-case scenario. Inside, the lobby buzzed with energy. Smartly dressed people moved purposefully, and the clattering of heels echoed off the marble floors. Emily felt a surge of apprehension. She couldn't shake the feeling that maybe she didn't belong here. But then she remembered Jake's words and held onto them like a lifeline. When Emily finally found the right office, she was met by a polished woman who introduced herself as Lisa, the project coordinator. Lisa's confident demeanor immediately put her at ease. "We appreciate your enthusiasm, Emily," she said, leading her into a sleek conference room. As they sat, Emily's mind flitted between hope and doubt. Lisa began to explain the project, and Emily's heart soared. It wasn't just about self-improvement, it was about empowering others. Creatively guiding young individuals out of their shells, helping them to realize their unique strengths and passions. "This is exactly what I want to do," Emily blurted out, excitement bubbling up. She couldn't hold back the passion in her voice. "I've always believed in the importance of mentorship and encouragement." Lisa listened intently, nodding as if she were absorbing every word. "That's why we chose you. We see potential in you, and we want to help you cultivate it." Emily could feel her insecurities begin to dissolve like sugar in hot water. They discussed the details, and each passing minute unraveled her initial fears, replacing them with a sense of purpose. Finally, Lisa leaned in, her expression serious. "There's a catch, Emily. This isn't just a regular program. We need someone who can commit wholeheartedly. It will demand a lot from you." Emily hesitated. What if she wasn't enough? What if she failed? But doubt was beginning to fade, replaced by a thrilling rush of possibility. "I'm willing to try," she said, grounded in determination. As they wrapped up, Lisa handed Emily a folder filled with details and expectations. "Think it over. There are people counting on you." Walking out of the building, the air felt fresher. She didn't just feel lighter, she felt alive. Jake was waiting in the same spot where they parted ways. He beamed at her as she approached. "How did it go?" "It was incredible," Emily exclaimed, bursting with enthusiasm. "I want to do this." Just then, her phone buzzed in her pocket. A notification appeared, sending a chill through her. It was another message, but this one felt different. "You've got to be kidding me," she muttered under her breath. "What is it?" Jake asked, looking intrigued. Emily opened the message, her eyes widening in disbelief. It was an invitation to a more prestigious program, something no one from her background had ever been offered before. This changes everything." Jake took a step closer, curiosity etched on his face. "Emily, what does this mean for you?" Before she could answer, the weight of what lay ahead hit her squarely in the chest. She was on the verge of something monumental, yet uncertainty lingered right alongside her excitement. Would she be able to balance both opportunities, or would one overshadow the other? As she stood there, staring at the screen, doubt crept back in, whispering fears of inadequacy and overwhelming expectations. "Maybe I'm in too deep," she thought, the thrill of the moment beginning to feel like a distant echo. What if juggling these two paths became impossible? What if this was all a game she couldn't win? The deeper Emily dug, the more questions surfaced, and in that moment, she knew she had to make a choice. Only one question remained: which path would she take, and would she be strong enough to embrace it all? Emily stood frozen, staring at her phone, the weight of its implications pressing down on her. The sunlight filtering through the nearby trees seemed to dim, replaced by the shadows of doubt creeping back in. "Emily? Are you okay?" Jake's voice cut through her haze, pulling her back to the moment. His brow furrowed with concern, and he stepped closer, the warmth of his presence enveloping her. She swallowed hard, trying to find her voice. I wasn't expecting this. I feel like I've been granted access to a world I never even thought was possible." Her heart raced as she glanced between her phone and Jake. "This program could open so many doors, but it sounds like it's a lot to handle," he finished for her, nodding in understanding. His empathy set her at ease, though the anxiety still gnawed at her insides. "Exactly. What if I can't keep up? What if I let everyone down?" Panic bubbled to the surface. Images of her past failures flashed in her mind, those moments that had convinced her she wasn't enough. Jake reached out, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "Emily, you're not alone in this. You're the one who inspired me. You show up every single day, no matter the odds. You've always believed in others before you believed in yourself." His words wrapped around her like a hug, warmth flooding back into her heart. She looked into his eyes, searching for certainty. "But this is different. This is so much bigger than me." Bigger doesn't mean unattainable. It means it's a chance for growth, and you have what it takes. Emily took a deep breath, weighing her options. One moment she felt charged with energy, teetering on the edge of her biggest opportunity. The next, a pang of fear would grip her. She closed her eyes, trying to sort through the noise in her head. "What if I say yes to the new program, and then I falter in the first meeting?" she whispered, vulnerability breaking through. "Then it's a learning experience," Jake replied, his confidence steady. "Success isn't about never failing. It's how you rise after each stumble." His optimism was infectious. As hope began to spark within her, Emily found herself remembering the passion she felt during the meeting with Lisa. That spark was there for a reason. "And what if the mentorship program is the chance I've been gearing up for my whole life?" Jake grinned. "Then that's worth fighting for." After a moment, she nodded, a sense of purpose washing over her. "Okay, I'll do it. I'll take a leap and accept the invite. But I need to set my priorities straight. I can't spread myself too thin." "Exactly," he encouraged, his eyes bright with pride. "You can do both, and I will help however I can. We'll figure this out together." His unwavering support ignited a fire in her. Maybe, just maybe, she could handle both opportunities. She imagined the possibilities, the lives she could touch, the potential she could inspire, and the growth she could experience herself. Her phone buzzed again. Hesitant but curious, she glanced at the screen. Another incoming message, but this one was from Lisa. It read, "We're excited to have you on board, Emily. Can't wait for your start date. Let's create magic together." Instantly, a smile broke through the tension in her chest. The road ahead was uncertain, but she felt an ecstatic thrill knowing she would not walk it alone. "Let's celebrate," Jake said, his enthusiasm contagious. "How about some ice cream?" Emily laughed, feeling lighter than she had moments before. "Ice cream it is." As they walked toward the car, a sense of balance began to settle deep inside her. Perhaps the universe had conspired in her favor after all. But just when she thought the path ahead was clear, another message arrived from an unknown number. "Don't forget, every choice comes with a cost." Emily's heart sank, and a chill rushed through her. What kind of cost was attached to this path she was about to take? The easy excitement began to stir with apprehension. She looked at Jake and felt an unsettling sense that this new opportunity might come with hidden challenges. Would she be able to withstand what might lie ahead? Emily's grip tightened around her phone, her breath hitching in her throat. The message lingered in the air around her, swirling with uncertainty, overshadowing the joy she had just begun to feel. Jake glanced at her, his smile fading as he registered the shift in her demeanor. "Hey, what's wrong?" His brow knitted in concern, and she could see the worry dancing in his eyes. She hesitated, torn between wanting to share her fears and the instinct to protect her newfound hope. Finally, she exhaled sharply. "I just got this text. It's cryptic. What does it mean that every choice comes with a cost?" Jake's expression turned serious as he considered her words. "It sounds ominous, but maybe it's a reminder to stay grounded. Every new opportunity has its challenges to face, right? You can't let that scare you off. You're stronger than that." His reassuring presence pushed back against the shadows looming in her mind. "You're right," she replied softly, glancing back at the screen. "But I can't help but feel like I'm standing at the edge of a cliff." "One wrong move." "It's not just about that," Jake interrupted, leaning closer. "It's about trusting yourself. Think of all the times you've pushed through because you believed you could make a difference." As they reached the car, the temptation of ice cream hung sweetly in the air, but the heaviness still clung to her heart. She slid into the passenger seat, her mind racing with possibilities and worries. What if this chance doesn't lead to magic? What if I fail, and I have to face everyone's expectations and my own? She murmured, frustration pooling beneath her words. "Look," Jake said, turning the engine over, "if it doesn't work out, you know what that means? You tried. You took a chance. That's a victory in itself. And besides, if anyone can navigate this, it's you." Emily turned to him, the tension in her shoulders easing. "I just wish I knew what this cost would be." "Maybe it's something you can't see yet, a sacrifice you'll have to make. But think of what's at stake, the lives you could touch and the person you could become," he countered, his unwavering faith kindling a fire deep within her. With a hesitant nod, she felt a sliver of determination slicing through her doubts. "You're right. If I don't try, I'll never know what's possible." As they pulled into the ice cream shop, she took a deep breath, inhaling the comforting scent of waffle cones and sugar. The idea of buttery caramel and chocolate fudge brought a small smile to her lips. Maybe a little indulgence could help clear her mind. The shop was bustling with laughter and chatter, families seated at bright tables with vibrant murals painted on the walls. Emily stepped in, her heart fluttering with the intertwining feelings of excitement and fear. She reached for the menu, but her heart wasn't in the ice cream just yet. "Emily!" A voice called from the back, and they turned to see an enthusiastic woman waving toward them. "Lisa?" Emily blurted out, her stomach twisting with surprise. "What are you doing here?" But just as Lisa approached, a muffled sound echoed from Emily's pocket. The phone chimed again, the familiar vibration sending a jolt of anxiety ricocheting through her. She pulled it out, her heart sinking as the screen lit up with yet another unknown number and a terse message: "Remember, not all that glitters is gold. Beware the faithful who are not." Emily's face paled. This wasn't just a simple life change, it was starting to feel like a test. The thrill of opportunity and the weight of caution collided within her. "What's wrong?" Jake asked, taking notice of her stunned expression. "Looks like I have more to figure out than just ice cream flavors," Emily replied, her voice shaking slightly. Anxiety clawed at her heart, and she hoped she wouldn't have to face shadows more dangerous than her doubts. As she glanced back at the cheerful group sharing scoops of joy, she wondered how many others were grappling with unseen challenges of their own. Would she be able to navigate both her new role and the mounting unease? With a deep breath, she steeled herself for what lay ahead, both the sweet excitement of her opportunity and the shadows waiting to cloud her path. And just as her heart began to settle, she looked at Jake, knowing she had to ask, "What if the support I thought I had isn't what it seems?" In that moment, the sweetness of the ice cream shop faded as a chill seeped back in what other truths were hiding behind the glimmer of new beginnings. Emily felt the walls of the ice cream shop close in on her, the joyful sounds of laughter now a distant echo. She looked at Jake, his brows still furrowed and concern etched deep into his features. The uncertainty of her situation weighed heavily, like a thick fog that refused to lift. "Do you really think I can handle whatever's coming my way?" she asked, searching for reassurance. Jake's eyes softened. "You've handled more than anyone I know. Look at everything you've already dealt with. Don't underestimate yourself." "But this feels different," she whispered, her voice trembling even as she tried to sound brave. "Every time I take a step forward, something pulls me back. It's like there's a shadow lurking, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce." Lisa arrived at their side, her bright smile a stark contrast to Emily's solemn mood. "What is going on? You two look like someone just told you a ghost story." "Just a little uncertainty," Emily said, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. A glint of mischief sparked in Lisa's gaze. "You should try the new lavender honey flavor. It's supposed to be amazing. It might brighten your day." "Yeah, sounds good," Emily replied absently, still grappling with the implications of that last text. As they approached the counter, Emily couldn't shake the feeling that whatever challenges lay ahead didn't just involve her own choices. The shadows were deeper, entangled with the people around her. Maybe Lisa's enthusiasm was just a mask like the ones Emily wore. "What if the people I depend on are not what they seem?" she thought, disquiet gnawing at her like a relentless tide. "Okay, I'm getting the lavender honey," Jake declared, breaking into her spiral of worry. "And you should too. A little sweetness can't hurt, right?" "Sure, what's the worst that could happen?" she replied, half-heartedly trying to laugh it off. As they picked their flavors, Emily's thoughts drifted. She watched families interact, kids giggling as they extended sticky fingers toward their cones. It was comforting, grounding. Yet, a nagging worry nibbled at her resolve. Had this newfound happiness come with a cost that she hadn't fully recognized yet? Lisa took a big scoop of rainbow sherbet and turned to Emily. "What's up with your phone, anyway? You look like you've seen a ghost ever since that message." Emily hesitated, unsure whether to share her fears. Something stopped her, a flicker of protective instinct. "Just a little drama. You know how it is." A dark cloud loomed over her thoughts. What if someone close to her were hiding something? What if Jake's bright spirit masked shadows of his own? Suddenly, the ice cream shop's cheerful atmosphere felt stifled, and she took a deep breath to steady her racing heart. "I need to know what's true before I dive into anything. This could change everything," she murmured more to herself than anyone. Jake leaned toward her, breaking her reverie. "Hey, whatever's bothering you can't overshadow the good in your life. Remember that, okay? You're stronger than you think." His words echoed in her mind, but doubt gnawed at her. She wanted to believe him. Yet, another text pinged on her phone, pulling her even deeper into uncertainty. Before she could even glance at it, Lisa chirped, "Let's find a table outside. The sunshine will do us some good." She bounced off, scooping up the cheerful vibes that filled the air. With a reluctant smile, Emily followed, but her heart was still caught in a tempest of anxieties swirling around her thoughts. As they settled outside, the warmth of the sun washed over them, but Emily felt the chill deep in her chest. Each laugh and cheer drifting from the shop only highlighted her inner turmoil. Gripping her ice cream, she said, "What if trusting the wrong person could cost me everything? What if I don't know who I can really count on?" Jake paused, looking at her with those earnest eyes. "Then you figure it out. One step at a time. I'll be right here with you." But as Emily looked around, something nagged at the edges of her mind. It seemed that uncovering the truth would be the very first step in moving forward. Yet, before she could muster a response, the screen on her phone lit up one more time, a final message that would change everything. "You're not alone, Emily. Trust me." As the warmth of the day faded for a moment, she wondered, who could she truly trust in this whirlwind? And did the truth uncover blessings or bury her deeper in shadows? Emily's finger hovered above the screen of her phone, her heart racing. The words stared back at her, each one heavy with implication. "You're not alone, Emily." Trust me, it felt like a lifeline, yet it also sent shivers of fear through her veins. Who was this person willing to reach out? What did they know that she didn't? Are you even going to check it? Lisa's voice cut through Emily's spiraling thoughts. Emily quickly locked her phone and shoved it into her pocket. "It's probably nothing," she said, forcing a lightness into her tone. But inside, the knot in her stomach twisted tighter. The sun poured down around them, illuminating the smiley faces of children darting across the sidewalk, blissfully unaware of the havoc brewing in her mind. She turned her gaze back to Jake and Lisa, who were caught up in a playful debate about whose ice cream cone was bigger. "Hey, how about a friendly wager? Loser does the dishes tonight," Jake teased, licking at his lavender honey treat. Forcing herself to join in the laughter, Emily felt a fleeting moment of relief, a small patch of light in her stormy thoughts. Yet, as the joy of the moment washed over her, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was brewing beneath the surface. Suddenly, her phone buzzed again, buzzing against her hip like a restless mosquito. The heat of apprehension washed over her as she pulled it out. It was the same number. "Don't ignore me. You need to know the truth." She bit her lip, glancing at Jake and Lisa, who were momentarily distracted by some street performers. The urge to respond was overwhelming, wrestling with her fear of what that truth might reveal. "Emily? You okay?" Jake's voice pulled her back from the precipice. He studied her with concern, and she could see the slightest hints of worry creeping into his usually confident demeanor. She nodded, but her stomach churned at the idea of dragging him into her chaos. What right did she have to reach out to someone when she herself felt so ensnared in uncertainty? "Hey, don't keep us in suspense," Lisa encouraged, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "What's the deal? Is it a cute boy? A secret admirer?" Emily plastered on a smile. "Just you know how it is. Friends can be weird sometimes." Jake raised an eyebrow. "Right. Friends." The sincerity in his gaze sent another wave of doubt crashing over her. What if she was wrong about Jake? What if he was really her rock but was caught up in his own storm? Taking a deep breath, she shoved the phone deeper into her pocket, deciding to focus on the moment. Her friends needed her to be present. But just as she turned to engage in their laughter, a figure caught her eye from across the street, a familiar face lingering in the shadows just beyond the sunlit plaza. It was someone she hadn't seen in ages, someone who had twisted her path in ways she still hadn't processed. As they caught her gaze, a flash of recognition crossed their face, followed by a smirk that sent chills racing down her spine. "Emily?" Jake's concerned question brought her back. "You look like you've just seen a ghost." Her heart thundered in her chest. She couldn't shake the feeling that the specter from her past was tangled up in whatever storm was brewing. I think I need to handle something," she stammered, her voice barely above a whisper. "Do you want us to come with you?" Lisa asked, an edge of worry creeping into her tone. "No, it's fine," she replied, her mind racing at how ridiculous that sounded. "Just stay here. I'll be right back." She took a deep breath and slipped away from the table, moving towards the figure watching her from the shadows. With each step, a mix of determination and fear swirled inside her. What if this encounter would finally unravel the threads she hadn't dared to pull? And as she approached, she couldn't shake the dread that whatever lay ahead could either bring her the truth she sought or plunge her deeper into the shadows she feared. "Hey! Wait up!" she called, her voice barely carrying over the chatter of the street. The figure turned, their expression unreadable. But in the depths of their eyes, she thought she saw a flicker of something she hadn't expected, a hint of urgency. Whatever secrets they held, Emily was now unraveling her own fate, one step at a time. But would she be ready for what they had to share? As she reached them, her mind whirled with possibilities, leaving her to wonder, was the truth really what she wanted? As Emily reached the stranger, her heart raced like a stampede. The familiar face, once a ghost haunting her mind, stood before her with eyes filled with a mix of regret and determination. It was Mia, an old classmate turned rival, whose presence brought back a rush of memories once tangled in whispers and untold stories. Mia, Emily breathed, emotions swirling within her like a whirlwind. She hadn't expected this encounter. "What are you doing here?" Mia hesitated, glancing behind her as though the shadows held secrets she dared not share. "I came to find you. I needed to talk, and I could only think of where to look." Her words were hurried, like leaves rustling in the wind. Curiosity and wariness clashed in Emily's heart. "Talk about what?" "About what has been happening with you and about your opportunity." "Hold on. How did she even know?" Emily knew she had to tread carefully. "What do you mean?" Mia stepped closer, her voice dropping to a whisper, urgent and insistent. "You're stepping into something colossal. I have information, some things that could change how you view it." Emily felt the weight of the world on her shoulders. Part of her wanted to turn around and tell Mia to leave, to not bring more complexity into her already tumultuous life. But the other part, the part that craved understanding, spoke louder. "What do you know?" "They're not what they seem," Mia said, a tremor lacing her words. "That team you're thinking of joining, there's more behind their glittering facade." Confusion nestled in Emily's chest. "What do you mean?" Mia took a deep breath, steadying herself against the fluttering anxiety in the air. "I can't explain everything here. Meet me later. Just trust me on this, it's important. You need to know the truth." Trust? It felt like a foreign concept, especially coming from Mia. But Emily's curiosity stirred a dangerous mix of intrigue and caution. "Okay, but I don't want anything to put my family or my future at risk." A small smile broke Mia's serious expression. "I promise this is about your best interests, Emily. You deserve to know what you're getting into. Meet me at the old park tonight at 7. And with that, Mia turned, disappearing into the bustling crowd before Emily could even respond. As she walked back to the ice cream shop, the laughter of Jake and Lisa floated through the air like soft music, but the joy felt muted in her heart. There were so many threads intertwining in her life now. Jake, Lisa, the opportunity, and now Mia. Would more change be worth this turmoil? She slid back into her seat, her hands trembling slightly. "Everything okay?" Jake asked, concern knitting his brow as he watched her expression shift. "Just an unexpected visitor," she replied, forcing a smile. "Nothing to worry about." "All right." Jake leaned back, but Emily noticed his gaze lingered on her face, still searching for the truth behind her insincerity, trying to push away the gnawing doubts clawing at her insides. Emily focused on the sweetness of her ice cream, each scoop feeling heavy. It tasted like nothing but uncertainty. Even though the lavender honey was supposed to be fabulous, she wanted to voice the tumult brewing inside her, to lay bare her worries about trusting people and the haunting shadows lurking around each decision. But instead, she settled for a thin smile, swallowing each secret she'd rather let go. Later that night, as Emily stood in front of her mirror, preparing to meet Mia, the reflection staring back felt both familiar and foreign. Would this conversation pull her deeper into the storm, or would it finally unearth a path toward clarity? She slipped on her favorite jacket, faded denim and a hint of rebellion, and as she grabbed her phone, a message pinged. A note from Jake saying, "Don't forget to tell me how it goes." She hesitated, fingers hovering over the screen. Part of her wanted to share it all, the disquieting feelings, the secrets, the chance to learn the hidden truths. But could she bring him into her storm? Their connection was precious, fragile like the ice cream cone that had melted in the sun. With a decisive breath, she silenced her phone and stepped outside, the night air crisp and charged with anticipation. Each step toward the park whispered a promise that she would find her way through the fog of uncertainty. Mia waited in the shadows, her silhouette outlined by the soft glow of the park lights. The tension crackled as Emily approached, a mixture of skepticism and hope twirling in her chest. "Thank you for coming," Mia said, her expression serious. "This is going to change everything for you." Emily nodded, willing to listen, but prepared for anything. "What do I need to know?" With that question hanging in the night air like a fragile thread, Emily prepared to unravel the mysteries veiled in the darkness, moment by moment, revelation after revelation. Would this bring her closer to understanding or into the depths of unexpected chaos? The answer waited just out of reach, and she was ready to face whatever came next. She was ready to discover the truth. As they talked and every secret laid bare, Emily felt the stirrings of transformation tug at the edges of her heart, a flutter of hope budding within the shelter of uncertainty, a chance to step into the light. Soon, she would understand that true freedom wasn't merely the absence of constraints but the power to embrace every choice, every cost, and every joy that came with letting herself be seen. The world was sprawling before her, filled with shadows and light, and she was finally ready to discover her place within it. And as Emily's journey began to crystallize, the echoes of her past morphed into the strength for her future. Every doubt, every fear was now woven into a rich tapestry of possibility. This was just the beginning. Emily felt a smile unfurl, the kind that rose from the depths of her spirit, illuminating her path ahead. Little did she know, the shadows wouldn't follow for long. As she took a deep breath to share the first truth Mia laid out for her, she found the greatest revelation was not merely about knowing the cost but embracing the journey that came to shape who she was destined to become. Now, the power to inspire, grow, and leap into the unknown awaited her. And so, together, they stepped into the night, believing that light would always find its way through darkness, because in that moment, Emily Carter was ready to shine. Now it's your turn. You need to subscribe now and don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and brighten our community. Comment below with your reactions and thoughts about Emily's journey. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait not even one more second to share.